It is beyond the understanding of normal people. The rasa is chivalrous, Veera rasa. So the Lord intentionally put him in the opposite side to experience or to taste that mellow of chivalry. So the final 5 days are known as Bhishma Panchaka. So today is the first day of Bhishma Panchak. Let us have first the invocation and then we'll discuss. There is a lot to speak and share, but the time is limited. Also today is the disappearance day of Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. Our acharyas in Guru Parampara who are always there on the altar. And today also that Ekadashi that we have is very special. It is the Utthan Ekadashi. It is also called the Hari Bodhini Ekadashi. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So briefly first I'll speak about Utthan Ekadashi. Those of us who went to Srirangam, you remember the deity of Lord Ranganath, huge deity, one of the biggest deity available on earth, Lord Ranganath. So Lord Ranganath is reclining on Ananta Shesh and he is in Yoga Nidra. That is for 4 months, that is the month of Chaturmasya. The Supreme Lord Narayan, he goes for transcendental sleep. It is called Yoga Nidra. And this year, it is called as the Shayana Ekadashi. It is called the Dev Shayana Ekadashi. It was this year on 29th June 2023. So normally Chaturmasya is for 4 months. Then June, August, September, October, and now it is November. So it is almost the end of November. So 4 months, and after 4 months, on the Ekadashi today, it is called as the Devothan Ekadashi. But it is also known as Prabodhini Ekadashi, or it is Haribodhini Ekadashi, or popularly known as Dev Utthan or Utthan Ekadashi. So the Supreme Lord wakes up. So for this 4 months is considered to be very, very auspicious to perform spiritual activities. If you see the gross materialistic people or the Brahmanas, the Smartha Brahmanas, you understand what is a Smartha Brahmana? Those who are Karma Kandis. Those who are on the path of Karma Kand. So they consider this 4 months to be very inauspicious. You will never see any marriages taking place in this 4 months. Did you see in last 4 months? Did you get any invitation from anyone? No, nobody performs any marriage or any inauguration. They consider it very inauspicious. But the material world is just reverse of what the spiritual world is. But for the spiritual practitioner, these 4 months are very empowered to perform devotional practice. And the final month of Chaturmasya is the Kartik month. So one who has not been able to observe Chaturmasya, Chaturmasya has many regulations, very strict regulations. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur very strictly observed Chaturmasya. But Prabhupada has been liberal. Prabhupada has not recommended for us to perform Chaturmasya. Prabhupada has recommended us to perform the 4 regulative principles strictly. And in this 4 months, the recommendation is to enhance our spiritual activity and to minimize our bodily needs and material activity. In any case, there is no ritualistic activity which is happening in this 4 months. So if one has missed it, one has not been able to do that for the entire Chaturmasya, then he has the opportunity that in the final month of the Chaturmasya, which is the Kartik month, which is the month of Srimati Radharani, if one performs practice and austerity in this month of Kartik, he gets the benefit of all the 4 months. But what to speak of people in Kali Yuga? Actually, one should perform it throughout his life. If he is not able to do it throughout his life, then at least 4 months. Like Krishna says in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he begins by saying that Mayyeva mana adhatsava mai buddhi niveshaya. That you fix your mind on me and you invest your intelligence in me. That is the highest. That is the standard of a pure devotee. But if you are not at that level, atachittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram, then you follow the 4 regulative principles, the regulative process of performing sadhana bhakti. If one is not able to do that, then at least come to the stage of working for me, dedicating the fruits of your work towards me. So if one is not able to perform even full Kartik month with strict austerity and regulation, then these 5 days are very empowered days, which is from today. It is from Utthan Ekadashi till the last day of Kartik, which is the Purnima. Yeah. From Ekadashi till Purnima. So, this 5 days, these 5 days are known as Bhishma Pancham. I have discussed the Utthan Ekadashi. Today is the day of awakening from the transcendental sleep of Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu, and everything becomes active. And this Bhishma Panchak, so one is wondering that how it is Bhishma Panchak. When is the Mahabharata Yuddha? The Yuddha began on the day after Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And the Gita Jayanti is going to come in December. So how we are observing Bhishma Panchak now? The dates do not reconcile. Are you with me or not? Are you understanding? Because Bhishma Pitama stayed for a prolonged period. He waited for Uttarayana. So the battle was over in 18 days after the Gita Jayanti. And he left his body when the sun entered the Uttarayana, which is near Makar Sankranti. So he waited for almost 55 days for the sun to be in the right planetary position. So why we are celebrating Bhishma Panchak now? How can Bhishma Pitama leave his life in this stage? No, it is not like that. So the basis or the consideration is that at the time of Bhishma Dev's departure, Krishna came with all the Pandavas. When we will come in the 9th chapter, of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, there is a full chapter dedicated on the passing away of Bhishma Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna arranged that after, you are saying Arjuna's position in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. What is the position of Arjuna in first chapter? That he is crying, he is not willing to fight, he is not willing to rule, he is completely perturbed, disturbed, his mental balance is lost. The same position happens with Mahārāj Yudhishthira after the war is over. After the Pandavas win, what is the position of Arjuna? Even more depressed is Mahārāj Yudhishthira. And Krishna consoles Mahārāj Yudhishthira, tries to pacify. He gave him full Gita. But Gita did not work with Mahārāj Yudhishthira. He was not pacified. He was not satisfied. So Krishna arranged to take the Pandavas for counseling. Today's word, you know the word counseling. To be counseled by the great general Bhishma Dev on his bed of arrows, where he was in the battlefield. And there is a long discourse on various subjects, on dharma, on politics, on social life, so many subjects. There is a very big discourse, a very deep discourse given by Srila Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma Dev inquired that why the Pandavas are so dear to you. My dear Lord, you can take any role, any position to serve your devotees in these Pandavas. You became the charioteer, you became the messenger, you will always be guarding them, protecting them. What is the reason that these Pandavas are so dear to you? So Krishna tells a story that why the Pandavas are so dear to them. So he reveals that previously in the kingdom of Mathura, there used to be a king. I think his name was Shaubari. No. And his wife was Kadambini. And his wife was a very, renowned dancer. And he was very known for his music. In his court, it is extraordinary. In his court, there used to be musical concerts. And the queen used to dance for the pleasure of the king. So there were 5 Brahmanas who came from Avanti. You know Avanti? What is today's modern day Avanti called? Anyone knows? This is called Ujjain. Ujjain. So these 5 Brahmanas who came, who were very much attracted towards music and dance, so they wanted to witness the dance of the queen. And when they came, they were very much, attracted by the performance of the queen. And they were constantly watching the queen. And the queen also detected that these are 5 Brahmanas who have come. So she invited these 5 Brahmanas to come and meet her one by one at the bank of Yamuna in the night. Something very unusual. And on the first day, the eldest moon was called. And the queen on the bank of the Yamuna, she performed her dance. And this Brahmana was a musician and he was playing in his instrument and the queen was dancing. And that was this time of Kartik, the end of Kartik. There was one brahmachari who was performing very severe austerities. So at that night, he was awake. And the entire day, he took only a little bit of cow dung to eat, and nothing else. So inspired by the brahmachari, both the queen and the brahmana who was there, the Avanti brahmana, they also took the cow dung and they observed the vrata. So next day, the second brahmana was called and he sang and the queen danced. And this brahmachari, next day, he took a little bit of urine of cow, gomutra. So inspired by that brahmachari, both the queen and the second brahmana, they also took a little bit of cow urine. So in this way, I'm cutting it short, but time is less. So all the 5 came and the queen performed the dance and whatever the brahmachari took, they took little. First day it was cow dung, second day it was cow urine, then it was ghee, then it was milk, and then it was curd. I don't know the sequence exactly, but it is normally like that. Maybe 1 or 2 up and down. So please don't have any doubts in that. And in this way, all the 5 brahmanas and the queen, they observe this vrata. And previously many sages were observing it. So this was told by the Supreme Lord himself to Bhishma Dev. And he said when the king came to know about the queen's performance in the dead of night, he was very, very annoyed. He was very irritated. And he kicked all the brahmanas out and also the queen. And in the next birth, these 5 brahmanas became the 5 Pandavas. And that queen became Draupadi Devi. I have heard it for the first time. I was trying to verify it also. But it is spoken by a ISKCON devotee. So, Bhishma Dev, in the final 5 days, he performed of his departure, he performed very severe austerity. And Lord Krishna was so pleased with his austerities that he said that the final 5 days of Chaturmasya will be remembered by you, Bhishma Dev. So it is now being known as Bhishma Panchak. Normally, Panchak is not considered auspicious. Panchak is considered to be very inauspicious. But these 5 days are very, very auspicious, especially empowered by Lord Krishna towards his loving reciprocation to his great devotee, Bhishma Dev. And in this 5 days, whoever performs austerity, whoever performs intense practice of devotional service and sadhana, he invokes the love of Lord Krishna. The love the Lord has for his dear devotees, Pandavas. So this is very, very important 5 last days. So we should all try at least that we should not let these 5 days go past. At least in the year, these 5 days we utilize. And wake up early, sleep early, remain very regulated in these 5 days. Little bit of austere. Yeah. Try to eat minimal and try to chant maximum. Whatever time we save from eating, we increase our chanting. There is so much of merit of reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. That is there everywhere, all the time. But in this 5 days, it is even more magnified and performance of devotional service. Particularly in these 5 days, offering flowers to the deities. So those who have deities, those who come to the temple, you can offer varied flowers to the deities. So this is in short about the Bhishma Panchak. Many devotees of ISKCON, I am observing for many, many years, they very strictly observe Bhishma Panchak. They eat only those 5 things, the Panchagavya, entire day. It starts one day before, from midnight yesterday, and it will remain till the 27th will be the final day. Today is 23rd, so 5 days. So they will do they will conclude the Vrata, the Bhishma Panchaka, on the 27th. And in this 5 days, they will only take little of these cow products, nothing else. Just to invoke the loving reciprocation of the Supreme Lord and to increase and enhance their attraction and their love to Lord Krishna. Today also is the disappearance day of Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. Not much is known about Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. Of course, we know maximum about Śrīla Prabhupada's life. Then we know more about Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's life also, because we observe his appearance, disappearance both. Also, we know about Śrīla Bhakti Vinod Thakur's life, because again we observe his appearance and disappearance. But for Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, there is no appearance day. And the disappearance day comes with so many festivals. So hardly we get opportunity to hear about Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. And Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj is such an exalted Vaishnava. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigena Bhujai. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami says, it's very, very difficult, it is impossible to be able to properly understand or interpret the Kriya, it is the activities, and Mudra and the dealings of a Vaishnava. Very bewildering. Because externally, Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was completely illiterate. But he was the spiritual master of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was the greatest philosopher and the most knowledgeable personality ever appeared on earth. But the 2 greatest scholars of this era is Śrīla Jiva Goswami and Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted. What accepted? He many times requested Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj to accept him as a disciple, but Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was not agreeing. So we will begin by reciting his pranam mantra. Namo Gaurā-Kiśorāya Sakshat Vairagya Murte Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padambujaya Te Namaha. We should all be knowing all the at least 5 pranam mantras of the acharyas who are there in the altar. Some of you know, but I don't know all of you know or not. Those who do not know, so please make an effort to at least memorize the pranam mantra. So Namo Gaurā-Kiśorāya. My obeisances and my respectful pranams to Śrīla Gaurā-Kiśora, who is Sakshat Vairagya Murti, who is the embodiment, who is the personification, the epitome of Vairagya, of renunciation, of detachment. His Murti is the personification. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give this Vidya. What is the Vidya? Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. So this detachment, the material detachment, is the result of intense attachment towards the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible. See, the soul will always be attached. Normally, the soul is in the material world. It is influenced by the false ego. The first level of covering is the false ego. And it is bewildered by the false ego, and he considers himself this body. He identifies himself or misidentifies himself with the body. So the maximum attachment is with the body and things related to the body. But a Paramhansa like Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī, who knew he is not this body. So of course there is no attachment to the body. His attachment is the Supreme Lord, to Lord Chaitanya. Prakasht Rupena Rag. Prakasht Rupena Rag. Rag means attachment, intense attachment towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is called Vairagya. So, Namo Gaurā-Kiśorāya Sakshat Vairagya Murte. And where is the attachment? Vipralambha Rasam Bodhe. His attachment is in serving the Lord in separation. That is the highest level of service. That is the level of service which the Vraj Gopikas perform. Service in separation. It is called Bhakti Naipunya. It's a very exalted state. We cannot understand that because we never have felt the association. So where is the separation felt from the Supreme Lord? So it is that highest state of bliss which is experienced when there is service in separation. I can see some of the Srila Prabhupada's disciples. They exhibit this bhava. The bhava which the gopis exhibited when they had separation from Krishna, and we see our spiritual master and other Srila Prabhupada disciples, they exhibit this bhava. Vipralambha bhava of service in separation to their spiritual master. So Vipralambha rasam buddhi, and that rasa is ambudhi. Ambudhi means the ocean, which expands. So he is in that state of Vipralambha bhava, in the state of intense separation from Krishna. And he is experiencing that highest level of bliss. And Padam Bujayate Nama. So we bow down to the lotus feet of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. He is the perfect representation of the Vairagya of Srila Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami. Rupa Raghunathe Pade Hoi Pe Akuti. So that embodiment is Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj's birth is mentioned that he takes birth in a place which is now in Bangladesh. It is in the Faridpur district, which is now in Bangladesh. And he was born in a Vaishya family, in a mercantile community. And not much is known about his parent or his initial life. But what is known, that he was in Grastha life. He got married. And in the early stage only, his wife, she passed away. She died. And when she died, he became completely detached. And from Faridpur, his name was Vamsidas at that time. Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj was Vamsidas. So he decided to go to Vraja. And he reached Vraja. And in Vraj, he took initiation from Sri Bhagavad Das Bābājī, who was a disciple of Sri Jagannath Das Bābājī. So from the age of say 30 till for next 30 years, he stayed in Braja, in Govardhan, Nandagram, Varshana, Radhakund, Suryakund, Raval, Gokul. So all these places. And he was intensely performing bhajan in seclusion. He did not mix with normal people. And he every day chanted 128 rounds of japa. 128 rounds of japa means how many hours? 16 rounds takes 2 hours. So you calculate how many hours. At least 12 to 14 hours. Every day he was performing such intense bhajan. And in the pain of separation from Radha Govinda, he cried out profusely. And he wandered through the Dvadash Vana. We went to 2-3 vanas this time. So he used to wander. Mentioned it is Govardhan, Nandagram, Barsana, Radha Kund, Suryakund, Gokul, Raval. And he would loudly chant the name of Srimati Radharani. And he would perform a bhajan, very famous bhajan. Kothai go premamai Radhe Radhe. Where is Srimati Radharani? Where are you? This is what the Goswamis are also saying. He Radhe Vraja Devike, He Nanda Suno Kuta. Where are you? How can I find you? How can I see you? How can I serve you? So in this way, he spent 30 years. And how he survived? Very few times he would ask Madhukari. Madhukari, you understand? That going from one house to another house in Vraja and asking for alms, asking for roti, or asking for food. Most of the time what he did, he took mud from the banks of Yamuna or Radhakund and he mixed little water and he took it. Who can imitate? He ate mud. Or the Yamuna water, he drank the Yamuna water or the waters at the bank of Radhakund. And for cloth, for covering his body, he would accept any cloth which was rejected or thrown out. And he had no utensils, nothing. Any broken clay pot which was lying in the street, he would pick it up and use it for his drinking water. So he exhibited extreme renunciation. And what was his engagement? While staying in Varsana, he made flower gardens every day for Rai and Kanha. Rai is Srimati Radharani. And after 30 years of intense bhajan and service in seclusion, he wanted to go to Navadip and see the birth site of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You all know that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was instrumental in finding the birth site, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. And Jagannath Das Bābājī Maharaj confirmed it. So in 1893, Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj, after 30 years of bhajan, he shifted from Brajbhumi and he came to Navadip Dham. He carried 2 books with him. His constant companions were 2 books of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He used to say that if you have 2 paisa, if you just have 2 paisa, you can attain Krishna Prem. So how you can attain Krishna Prem if you have 2 paisa? Because if you have 2 paisa, you can have these 2 books. What are these 2 books? It is Prema Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. These are the compositions or the compilations of the bhajans, of the devotional songs which are composed by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. On Ekadashi, he didn't eat or drank a drop of water. That was the standard for observing Ekadashi. He associated and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He associated while in Navadip only with very few, with only Bhakti Vinod Thakur. In Swanand Sugata Kunj in Godrumdev. And Bābājī Mahārāj had no desire to accept any disciples. But Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur recommended Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to take initiation from Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. He did not himself give initiation to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was his son. Rather, he said that your life will be perfect if you can get shelter of such an exalted Vaishnava as Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. But Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was very strict and very adamant that he will never accept any disciple. So many times Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur requested and approached Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī to accept him as a disciple. But Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj did not agree. He refused. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so heartbroken. And one day he said that my life is completely waste if I do not have a spiritual master, if I do not get your shelter, your blessings. So what is the use of having this life? Let me end my life by drowning in Ganga. And when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur expressed his intense disgust of not being accepted, then Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, okay, if you are insisting so much, then let me ask Lord Chaitanya. If Lord Chaitanya permits, then only I will accept you as my disciple. So after a few days, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur again approached and requested that, my dear Lord, my Prabhu, what was the reply from Lord Chaitanya? And Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj very casually said, I forgot to ask. How severe test. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was the greatest scholar of his time. Very well renowned. And Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was illiterate. Completely detached. But after seeing the sincerity of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, finally, Bābājī Mahārāj accepted Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he reveals that how Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj smashed his entire pride. At the time, there was no pride. Of course, there is no question of any pride in the heart of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But whatever there was the situation of, he was very renowned scholar, that was completely washed away by the instructions of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. He said, he named Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Das. Shri Varshabhanavi Devi is Srimati Radha Devani. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the Daita Das. So Shri Varshabhanavi Devi, that is Srimati Radharani, her chief servant is Srila Rupa Goswami. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the servant of Srila Rupa Goswami. So that is the name that was given to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Das. And Gaurā-Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj told him that reject your knowledge. Aristocracy, purity. Come close to me. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur writes that by his words, my false ego was completely diminished. And Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj placed his lotus feet on the head of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and blessed him to fearlessly preach the absolute truth, keeping aside all other activities, and gave him the life mission. And on the date of initiation, Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj also gave him 3 instructions. Of course, the main instruction was to chant constantly. And he also said that not to make any disciple. The first instruction. If Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj on his day of initiation gave this instruction to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur not to make any disciple, and if Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would have stuck to this instruction in general, then where was the possibility of Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada would have never become his disciple. And then where was the possibility of ISKCON mission? And then where was the possibility for all of us to get the opportunity of performing devotional practice? So what it meant, that never consider yourself to be the Guru. Like Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj also was very firm. He did never accepted anyone as the disciple. There was only one exception. That was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to say with great pride that my Prabhu, my Lord, Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj can sign. Who says he is illiterate? He has a signature. And what is that signature? That signature is this Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Dāsa. Such a powerful signature. Srila Gaurā-Kiśora. He took only one disciple in his life, and that disciple was sufficient to deliver the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the entire world. So the first instruction was not to make any disciple. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur never accepted his disciples to be his own disciples. That is actually the quality or the qualification of a spiritual master. He never considers disciple to be his disciple. He always considers the disciple to be the disciple of his spiritual master. And he helps his disciple to come closer to Krishna. So he serves his disciple actually. And we see in Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur that when his disciples used to offer obeisances, he used to offer it back and say, Dāso asmi. He always considered himself to be the sevak, Hari sevak of his disciples, to bring them closer to Guru and Krishna. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur got another instruction, is not to associate with anyone, any non-devotee. If Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did not associate with any non-devotee, so how the non-devotees will become devotee? How his disciples will become his disciples? How they will take to the path of bhakti? So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur followed it. How? He never took any influence from anyone. He only gave his association. He never took his association. You see in the case of Srila Prabhupada also, he went to the West. The West was completely enamored by Asat. But Prabhupada, he never accepted any association from anyone. He only gave his spiritual association and uplifted everyone else. And the third was not to go to the world of Maya. And particularly, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was restricted not to go to Calcutta. Initiation vow. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur established his headquarters in Calcutta. So what does it mean? Did he not follow his spiritual master's instruction? No. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he established in Calcutta, the headquarters of the Gaudiya Math. And what is the Matha? And he established the deities. So he established the spiritual embassy, the spiritual world in Calcutta. So he was never in Calcutta. He was always in the spiritual world. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur always considered his guru, Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj, to be the source of power. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave one example that we have all been to Mayapur, most of you. So when you go to Mayapur, you have to cross Ganges. And how do we cross Ganges? On the boat, there is one motor, one engine is there. Have you seen that engine? That gives so much of noise. And with that help of the engine, one crosses the ocean. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, that engine is my spiritual master's power. That is the battery which is giving life, the source of power, so that I can preach. So this is Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. In brief, I am sharing. And while staying in Navadip, he did not allow anyone to come close. He used to perform his bhajan not by building a cottage. Many times, many people tried to build a cottage for him. He always rejected. You remember when we go to Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj's place? This time also we went in Navadip. It is right on the bank of the river. So he used to stay there where old boats are there, where nobody is using the boat. So that became his bhajan selling. Nobody is coming. Or even on the public toilet. He used to be in a place near public toilet. Why? Because he did not allow any mundaner to come close to him. To keep mundane people from approaching him for material boon, he resided in the laboratories of the Kuliya Dharamshala in Koladip for 6 months. When public officials came offering to build him a proper bhajan kutir, Bābājī Mahārāj locked himself inside and said he already had one. He believed that associating with materialistic person was much worse than the smell of stool in the toilet. So once one doctor came from Calcutta to Navadip and wanted to stay with Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj and perform bhajan. And he said that I will also give free checkup and free treatment to those who are residing in Navadip Dham. So normally if someone comes and gives this proposal, like some doctor comes, some qualified doctor from AIMS comes, and he says, I will stay near the temple and I will give free consultation to everyone who is in temple. So what will do? We'll very welcome, okay, very good. But what is the advice of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj? He said that if you want to render substantial service, then renounce everything except what promotes Hari Bhajan. Give up your desire to run free clinic for healing sense enjoyers. So apart from performing Hari Bhajan, all other kinds of duties and services simply bind one to the ghastly service, to the ghastly cycle of karmic reactions. So he did not allow anyone who was making a show, who was not very pure from inside. Then there was one new married couple who came, husband, wife. And Bābājī Mahārāj said, very important, a Vaishnava wife is extremely rare and difficult to find in this world. I am purposefully quoting this. So the devotees who are having Vaishnava wife, Vaishnavis, they should know. If one has good fortune of having one, he should see it as a benediction from Krishna. The wife worships the husband as her Lord and Master. Similarly, the husband should worship the wife because she is Krishna Dāsi. It seems that he is illiterate, he is renounced, he has no meaning to the married life, he is in Paramahansa stage. But he gave very, very important instruction, Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī. In this way, the husband can protect his devotional enthusiasm by not considering his wife to be his maidservant. And she is always the maidservant of Krishna. That is the next instruction. He said, one who wants to perform bhajan, bhojan will spoil his bhajan. One who wants bhojan, eating palatable, will spoil his bhajan, was a favorite quote of Srila Bābājī Mahārāj. In other words, eating here and there, eating here and there, simply to gratify the tongue, destroy any attempts to worship Krishna. Once a devotee ate some festival prasad in his bhajan kutir, Bābājī Mahārāj would not speak to him for 3 days. On the 4th day, he said, you accepted festival prasadam given by low-class harlots and beautiful women. Because you took food without considering its origin, your bhajan is useless. It was so strict. The essence of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī's instruction is that the divine name of Krishna offers one and everyone the shelter. One should never try to remember Radha Damodar's transcendental pastime by artificial method. Constant chanting of the divine name will purify the heart. By chanting Harinam and syllables of the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is that will gradually reveal the spiritual form. This is what our acharyas have always instructed. Don't try to artificially try and imitate or try to find out. You chant purely and it will be revealed. Then you will realize your eternal spiritual form, service, and your spiritual identity. And when on this day of Utthan Ekadashi, Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj, he concluded his earthly pastimes. And he said that drag my dead body through the streets of Navadip. And some of the Navadip people, they took it literally. And they thought that they will drag the transcendental body of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj on the streets of Navadip. On 19th November 1915, Sri Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj, he closed his earthly pastimes. And at that time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came there. And he claimed that no one can touch the transcendental body of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. And we all know, we have seen that he made a samadhi of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj, which we visited, just inside the Gaudiya Math. You remember? We went to the Gaudiya Math. There is the samadhi of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. He established the samadhi on the banks of Sri Chaitanya Math, Radha Kund near Lord Chaitanya's Yogpit in Sri Dham Mayapur. In Vraj Leela, Sri Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj served Srimati Radharani as Guna Manjari. And his Pushpa Samadhi stands besides the Radha Kund. So in short, I discussed some of the glorious life and pastime of Srila Gaurā-Kiśora Bābājī Mahārāj. Bhagavatam we will start tomorrow. We'll continue. I hope you have found time and interest to memorize the verses. In the first chapter, we memorized 4 verses, the first 3 verses and the 10th verse. And here we can memorize these 3 verses, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Very simple. 4th verse you already know. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottam. You just have to give a little bit of focus. And 5th is also very beautiful verse. Muniyo Sadhu Prishnoham. Very, very beautiful verse. How Śrīla Sūta Goswami begins. So I'll stop here. If anyone wants to say something, or if he has something to know, further he may ask. Please remember that story of what Lord Krishna spoke to Bhishma Dev. What is the great merit of performing these 5 final days of Kartik? One can become as dear as the Pandavas are to Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. I don't see any hand coming, so we'll wind up. Try to sleep. One more austerity you should do in this month, which I am strongly recommending. Please try to do it. Sleep before 10 and wake up maximum by 4:30. No later than that. At least in 5 days. Hare Krishna. You are not running the entire country, is not on you. Huh? There is nothing. It is all attachment and ignorance and nothing else. Hare Krishna. श्री गौर-किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज तिरुभाव तिथि महा महोत्सव की जय। श्री उत्थान एकादशी महा महोत्सव की जय। श्री भीष्म पंचक की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि।